Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Neighborish livecast. I'm Super Dave, aka Mr. Incredible, and with me, as always, are the people that make the Neighborish livecast Neighborish. Starting with our resident feminine energy, personal trainer, meal prep chef, and fitness guru, Miss Fruitfit herself, Patrice Jones. She's chilling tonight. How you doing, P?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Good to be here. Missed y'all.
Yeah, man. I know you've been grinding with the meal prep. How's it going?
Oh man, so busy. I got one eye open right now.
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. Well, busy is good. That means you're making money. So
little something.
a little something. And my brother, my man, 100 grand, just Mike. What's up, brother?
Y'all, good to see y'all.
Definitely. And we have a great show for y'all today.
Yes, we do.
Because our guest today, I first met today's guest when one of our good friends, Ralph Cooper, invited us to RFD to see his comedy show. He was running the room there. This gentleman got up on stage. His poise and his confidence stood out, and it's something that I really noticed and paid attention to. So when you're working toward being good at something, one of the most useful pieces of advice you'll ever get is to find someone who does what you're trying to do at a level at or above what you're trying to do it at. And with that being said, ever since I met this dude, I followed him on social media and paid attention because as an actor and as a comedian, he's doing a lot of things that I aspire to do. And it's dope to see him working so much and doing what he does. You can see him now on, let me see, what is it? Reels Network, on season 2, episode 2 of Geraldo's Murder in the Family, where he's playing Bill Cosby. Of course, I'm talking about none other than Frank James. He's here with us today. And look, I just threw that out there because, but it's
hey, told you we're winging it. We're winging it.
Yeah, what I mean,
Dave, thank you, bro, for that intro, man. It was very nice, home. I love it.
No
Mike,
problem.
what's up, Holmes? Patrice, how you
Hi,
doing?
how are you?
Look,
Good.
man, like I said, man, I know you're a busy dude, so I really appreciate you making time to come hang out with us tonight. I'm really excited to talk to you about your journey, you know, things you've been through and things that you can share with us. But first, it's a couple of things going on in the city, in the country, in the world that we need to talk about, and we're going to talk about them now. Like I was saying to you before we started, I like to try to keep the mood and the tone of this show light, you know, and fun. That's definitely purposeful because we like to make a fun environment for our viewers. But every now and again, there's certain things that go on that happen that we need to address and talk about. And I wanted to talk about something that something that happened and then something that I saw in the wake of it. So just after 11 p.m. Last Friday night on the 2900 block of Martin Luther King Avenue, not too far from where I am right now, there was a shooting. And that's, you know, sadly, that's not a big, you know, news report. There's a lot of shootings, but in this particular shooting, you know, 5 people were wounded and one person unfortunately passed away. And that person was a 6-year-old little girl by the name of Naya Courtney. And, you know, I'm not a news reporter, but the reason I'm saying this is because in the wake of that, there's a process that people go through with mourning, with anger and pain and different things like that. And on social media, I noticed that a lot of people, you know, in expressing that, were saying things to the effect of, you know, where's the energy that we show when police are killing Black people, and why don't they do, you know, show the same effort and anger toward this when Black people are killing each other. And you know, like I said, I get it. There is a certain amount of anger and, you know, and different emotions that you deal with. But the bottom line is to say that we aren't as outraged when, you know, it's a Black person killing someone, it's just not true. And so to illustrate that fact, it made me think about 2 years ago, when the reason this show is called Neighborish is because my original co-host, Jay Sun, lives right next door to me. And so we were neighbors, and that's how we came up with the show. Right behind our house is an apartment complex and a group of apartments known as Cedar Gardens. And in 2020, actually July 4th, 2020, a young man by the name of Devon McNeil was 12 years old. He was murdered. Much in the same way that this young lady was. He was out there minding his business and was hit by a stray bullet. And so in the wake of that, my co-host, my big homie, Jason, instead of, talking about stuff, he set in motion the events to create an organization that's known as Cedar United. And what Cedar United is a community outreach and mentoring organization for young people. And so the reason I'm telling y'all this is because all of those posts I saying, they started to bother me because people put more effort into talking about the issue than actually doing things and moving on and trying to make a change. And this is something that that a friend of mine is doing to really try to make a change. Is it the answer? I don't know, but it's something. And so I'm saying that to say Cedar United is an organization. Their website is cedarunited.com, Cedar, CEDAR United.com. Their email is oneCedarUnited@gmail.com. If you go to the website, they have a phone number, they have a donations link. If nothing else, you can give money, but if you don't have money to give, you can talk to them, you can give your time, you can donate time to mentor youth in this area, in this neighborhood, to help. They have mentoring programs for little girls and boys from 7 years and up. And they do everything from job training to tutoring to sports and athletics to health and fitness to, and it's just something to put something else in these kids' heads besides all of the stuff that they're being bombarded with on a regular basis. I don't want to, sound like I'm preaching, but I just wanted to give an alternative to all those people that I see that say, where's the energy and where's the outrage and all that? It's there, and we turning it into action. And so, but we need help. So instead of typing and talking about it, let's help. Y'all go to cedarunited.com. If you can't donate money, everybody don't have money. You can give some time, you can give some, anything. So, yeah, I didn't want to get too preachy, and I don't want to move on without giving you guys an opportunity to comment if anybody had anything to say about it. But that was my piece. I just wanted to speak my piece.
Well, first, I want to give, my condolences to the people who were injured over the weekend during that shooting, man. That is just so ridiculous.
Right.
I don't know what to say, but it's just ridiculous. And it breaks my heart to see that, especially when it's our own people doing the shooting. It just doesn't make sense to me. But with that being said, I agree. If you have money, please donate to the cause if you have it. If not, your time and energy. In my opinion, you can probably do more good if you don't have money to go to a young brother that one of your neighbors, and say, yo, Holmes, please, if you have a gun, give it to me. Let me turn it in, because you don't need a gun, because violence will never be the answer. Only education. I know it sounds like a broke record, but we don't educate our people about the senselessness of violence. Our lives are not going to change. It's always going to be this way until we as Black people change that attitude. But it's very difficult to do that when, there is so much institutional racism in the system, and it's keeping our people down. So if you're in poverty and you need money, you may seek violent means to get money. Right. But if you were educated, then you would work at a normal, decent job and not try to earn money on the streets. That's the only thing I can say. On the lighter side, I'm sure the young ladies and all these people getting shot because it was a stray bullet. To me, if we were going to allow people to have guns, train them how to damn shoot. Target practice, damn it, geez. This is random, target practice. If you're going to shoot somebody, please, target practice. Don't be shooting randomly. Oh my God. I was trying to make a joke at that. Didn't go well, did it, guys?
No, it's actually, if I can interject, you're absolutely right. People of other nationalities, they take their children to the gun range, and they're 9 and 10 years old, and they know how to handle a weapon. Of course, there's so many other things that can be done outside of, weapons. Communication, family structure, getting these these households together. That's number one. But you're exactly right. Like, so many of these young people have weapons that make them feel empowered because they don't know that they have the power themselves. And so they're looking for power externally, and they pick up a gun that they don't know how to use because it makes them feel empowered, and they end up hurting people that they didn't even intend on hurting. So I definitely don't disagree with what you said. I think more people, more people should be armed and know how to use a weapon than not. So
just shoot randomly. It just I'm sorry, it's very upsetting.
Yeah.
Oh, Cedar United.
Yeah, Cedar United, and let me get my notes here. So yeah,
I said that because I mean we're talking about the problem,
yeah.
but the reason why Jay not doing this as much is because he's part of the solution.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
and, yeah, definitely. So like I said, Cedar United. The email is the number 1 Cedar United, CEDAR United UNITED @gmail.com. The website is cedarunited.com. They even have a phone number of 571-526-8612. You can reach out to them any way you need to. And what Mike said is kind of the key of what I was trying to convey, which is let's, put more energy into. So I'm this year for me has been more about being solution based. Like, we spend a lot of time dwelling on problems as opposed to working. If we spent as much time working on solutions as we did dwelling on problems, we'd be a lot better off, basically.
Amen, brother.
So, that we're trying to be a part of the solution, and this organization is definitely making strides. Like, check out the website. There's some videos on there and pictures and things of some of the good that they're doing in these neighborhoods. And I just think it's something that we need to help grow. So yeah, check them out. Give some money if you can. And if you can't, like I said, time and energy is always, respected and appreciated. What's up, Mike? You don't have to raise your hand.
There's no real joke to follow this topic of conversation. So you're going to swing it around something. You have to lighten it up somehow. Dave. Lighten the shit up, Dave.
Okay.
Quick. You talking about little baby getting killed?
I tried to, but it failed.
Right.
It's how do you lighten? There's nothing to lighten up when you talking about a little girl.
I know.
Playing, and then there's other elements to that. You know what I'm saying? It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm a parent of 4. I have 3 girls and a boy. Mm-hmm. I live in the suburbs, and my children are outside 11 o'clock at night. But I also have stayed in the hood and lived in the hood, from the hood, and I've been outside 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning my damn self when I was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, it's like, it's real. And if Cedar United is a start, let that be the start. Let that be the platform. Let that be the catapult. Conversations like this, hardworking people. Ms. Trees, you're a good mama. You know what it's like. How old is your boy?
Yeah, he's my young man. Will be 16, his birthday. And I do another little side thing outside of this, and outside of the meal prep, and outside of training. And I'm in contact with youth all day long, and the parents and the grandmothers. And I'm going to try to keep this, appropriate and not say too much.
Do what you do, man.
No, because I want to keep it, like you said, solution-based. We have to start not just being solution-based, but start checking these young people and even checking the parents. And when I say checking them, I mean, if you see something, say something. Remember back in the day, we had the orange hats that roamed in the neighborhood. So for instance, if I see a young man come up to me and he has his pants below his butt, I'll say, hey, son, you're about to lose your pants. Do you know what that means? You might want to pull your pants up, especially you have young ladies behind you. And he'll say, yes, ma'am, thank you. I appreciate you. We don't say anything anymore because we're so fearful. We have to start checking our youth and the parenting. And we can do it in a loving way. If we move in love and gratitude, we can do it. Now, will it change the whole family dynamic overnight? Of course not. But we have to start being accountable. These families and these children, we have to start checking each other and holding each other accountable, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because we stopped doing that. Somewhere along the line, we're fearful, and we stopped doing that. And so now everybody's running amok. And, you know, organizations like Jay's are cleaning things up, in a sense, meaning like he's cleaning up the part where some of the families that maybe didn't know any better have, you know, for lack of a better term, failed. And I know that's not the right word, but I think if, you know, we got to start checking each other. That's all. I see too much stuff happen in what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about social media. I'm talking about in the position that I told you that I'm in, and nobody says anything. And, you know, we got to start saying something. We got to start, because a lot of times these young men that are randomly shooting, they're looking for guidance. And you know, some people will say, you know, oh, they're too far gone. You don't know that. We haven't tried. You know, we got to try, you know.
My point exactly, Patrice.
Yeah.
You have to pull them. Young man, come to me, sit, let's talk.
Yeah.
You have to do that. Sometimes it have to be one-on-one. If I can pick on something, I know what I'm about to say is going to piss off some people.
Oh, we like that kind of stuff here. We didn't know.
But in my opinion, some of it is just like you said, Patrice, it's bad parenting. I'm sorry. Because today, in my opinion, parents are trying to be more like friends to their children and not the grown-ups in the room. Because I don't understand. You cannot be your child's best friend. That sounds kind of weird. You have to be the adult in the room. And sometimes that takes some discipline. And I'm talking about spanking. I'm gonna take it to that, because in my opinion, when I grew up, parents did that. They did it with loving care. They would spank you and punish you if you did something wrong. And if you did something wrong in school, you get your butt paddled there too, and it was okay. And to me, we need to go, I hate to say it, but we need to go back to that. I know I'm getting a lot of hate.
Punishment, sir?
Yes, we need to go back to that. Because in my opinion, you have to strike a little bit of fear and respect in your kids, because you have to be the adult in the room and just say, no, son, daughter, you're not going to do that. I'm not your best friend, I'm your parent.
So let me just interject, and I have heard this a lot, and I will say this as a parent of, my son is almost 6 feet tall, and he's almost 16. He's a 12 shoe. My son has the utmost respect for me, but I have never in my life touched my son, and I've barely raised my voice at him. But it is that fear that you speak of, but that fear can come from just communication and your child respecting you so much that they wouldn't even think to do certain things. Now, don't get me wrong, my son ain't perfect. I'm pretty sure he's cussed a little bit and done some things that I don't know about, but there's a different level. I wish I could tell y'all some stories. Some of them are just so heartbreaking that I've seen over the past couple of weeks. With this, just a disrespect. I'm talking about 14 and 15-year-olds cussing, just, you know, and me having to say, excuse me, you know, do you all cuss at your mom, cuss around your mom like that? And all of them saying, yes, we do. And I'll say,
exactly.
But then I say, well, I'm a young lady, and I have a son that's not too far from your age. Can you do me a favor and respect me and respect yourself and not use those words? And they'll say, oh, and they'll apologize. But it just goes, it tells me that it's going on at home, and it's allowed, and they're reciprocating, they're doing exactly what they see. And so it takes me back to exactly what I was saying, that we got to start, like, for instance, if Dave had a child and his child was around me and he was cussing and doing all of these things or smoking or whatever, I would check that young man. And then I would say, Dave, I checked your young man and something needs to go on, but we would have a conversation. People don't do that anymore.
Patrice, you're making my point, because they're doing it. The parents are allowing them to do that, trying to be their best friend. That is just craziness. You're the parent that has to be an adult in the room. Believe me, if I would go to my parents, I'm saying like 12, and I said, you son of a, before I can say bitch, pow! That's it. And I knew, okay, I can't say that. No, I can't say that. And they didn't, abuse me. They just kept my ass in check. And believe me, to this day, I raised my grandchildren the same way. And trust me, right now, they're young men and women, and they are doing very well at me at. We're the adults, you're the child, end of discussion.
Just tell you a funny story real quick. I don't want to go too far left, Dave, but I just want to share this. Just the other day, my son said, "Mom, I have some friends who they were cussing. I was at their house and they were cussing around their parents." And I was like, "What? They was cussing around their parents?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, he said, "They're cool, Ma. You think I can cuss around you?" I said, "Go ahead and try, Jay." So he took both of his hands and said, and grabbed my forearms. He said, "Let me hold your arms first." And we laughed so hard because he knew that wasn't going to fly with me, and I know we're going way left, but just back to the point, Dave, I know, we're solution based and we're talking, but I think part of the solution is that even if the four of us individually, quote unquote, check people that we know, that we see their children doing certain things, or we see them as parents doing wild things around their child that we know is inappropriate, and we pull them to the side respectfully and say, "Hey, just as your friend, I just wanted to come to you," or, "Hey, young man or young lady, this is what da 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 da." We would all, the four of us, make an impact, you know what I mean, just individually in our own spaces. And I think if we all did that as a collective over time, the point is to have some sort of impact on the world, and that would be our impact if we all did that. So that's all I got to say.
Okay. Yeah. No. I mean, I definitely agree with you committing yourself to trying to make a better place, to working toward, like you said, like we were saying, being solution based. And so in that, approaching people, it's such a crazy world right now, though. There's so much going on that is, you don't know what you might come in contact with, approaching people. Like, I've seen situations, where I am on this side, the Safeway up the street from me. I was just standing in line, and the young lady was cussing out her daughter, and the older gentleman was standing behind her, and he's like, "Look, young lady, you can, discipline your child, but you don't have to talk to her, like that so heavily." Like, I mean, calling her all kind of MFs and all this stuff, and and I'm thinking about the child, but I couldn't even say, well, what I'm saying? That's just how I was raised. I don't, around babies. But yeah, just calling her all kind of, and the guy said, and her angry tirade turned to the old man, and she cussed him up one side and down the other. "This is my child, and you can't tell me what to blah blah blah. Just don't worry about how I raise my kids and stuff and all that." And so, while I do agree with the idea of holding people accountable, it's like, how much does it really do? Do you think it can be effective?
So when I was saying it, I meant in our space. So like somebody that like that situation is a stranger. So when I was talking, remember I was talking about the young people. So like the young man that had his pants falling down, or the young men that were cursing, and I talked to them respectfully, and I said, I'm going to respect you, and I ask that you respect me. But if you're out and you see a parent doing that, the parent has learned from their parent, and they're passing it to the child. In 5 seconds, you're not going to change their life, okay? But like somebody, like for instance, like I said, if I saw your child out, Dave, or somebody that I know, and I've done this before, that if I had a girlfriend who maybe dresses her young lady inappropriately, or I might say, "Hey sis, that's that's wow, you gonna let her wear that?" Maybe have a conversation. Those sorts of things, like in our own personal space. Like, we don't even have to be so removed from the situation that we're a total stranger. I'm talking about like having an impact in our own lives within, like, that's why I said just the four of us, just in who we know, you know what I mean? Like, we have to start somewhere close and intimate, because when you come at a stranger like that, like an adult, it rarely goes well. Like it rarely goes well.
And that older gentleman found out
He
the hard
caught
way. Didn't go well for him. But what were you gonna say, Mike? Good.
I'm gonna say if Frank walk up to me and ask me for my gun, I'm gonna shoot him. So moreover, if I had been in the store, my little girl was 2, and she runs down the aisle with both arms out, snatching down all kinds of stuff. And I scurried over to her, got in her business and said, look, what's wrong with you? And the lady in the maternity ward section behind the counter was like, you don't talk to her like that. No, I went on that lady, something terrible. At the time, I am about 24 months in to a child who's 2, and I'm probably about 8 months into a custody situation where she's mine. I had, my baby mother and I weren't together, so here I am, a single father of a little girl, and I'm doing my job. And lady, you tell me what I shouldn't. None of my children run to the damn store snatching down shit. No, and so I understood where she was coming from. I went back to her and I said, look, I apologize. But in that moment, this is my child. And so, like you said, the stranger thing is one thing. But I've also been, my wife's mom, we were walking back from the bowling alley, and she was like, Mike, you cuss a lot. She's like, you cuss too much. Why you cuss? You're not cussing at the kids, but you're cussing around the kids. And I'm like, I realized she's right. That's what I was raised up in. And it's not good. I can speak pretty well. I can be eloquent if I so choose. But sometimes fuck it up, just appeals to me. It is what it is. It is, and that's just in me. And so raising the kids is so much to unpack, you know what I'm saying? Raising the kids and you're trying to communicate what's right, what's wrong. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. Let's keep it moving. Why are we so dark and dim? The rainy day.
It's not rated. The Mike summed it all up. I appreciate that. I do want to, we talked about this for a little while. Before we get into the interview, I did want to acknowledge a couple of folks. First of all, of course, we lost a titan in the entertainment industry this past weekend. Marcel Theo Hall, also known as Biz Markie, passed away on July 16th after complications from diabetes, had him, sick. And then it was a crazy situation because a couple of weeks ago, they were reporting that he had passed away falsely. Somebody got some bad information and then they ran with it. And so now that kind of adds to, a lot of what's going on. But we had a conversation, Frank, the week that DMX passed away, we were lucky enough to have Joe Claire on the show. And it was a good show. And we were just talking about the impact of hip hop and DMX, seeing the outpouring of love and support and things that everybody was doing. And the same thing for so Biz Markie, of course, was born in New York, I want to say in Queens. But
Queens, I think you're right.
Yeah, but he stayed in Baltimore, in this area. And so we'd see him around different places. I've run into him a number of times. And so you kind of forget, but with him passing and just the seeing all of the people from like Ice-T to Ice Cube to the Public Enemy to all of the people who said that they started out with him, they toured with him in those early days when he was making, mega hits like, Just a Friend and things like that. You kind of forget, but just his impact and his influence on hip hop as a music genre and then the entire culture over the, I don't know if there's anybody in any hood in America or anywhere in America that doesn't know you got what I need.
It, man. Come on.
And so just that impact, and just like I say, he was such a titan and such a good dude. Like charitable and polite, and he had that Queens in him, so he was a real nigga, but he was a a good guy, and I just wanted to acknowledge that and the big hole that's left, and it's been we've lost a couple of people over the past couple of months, and so it's been tough, and so this is a big one. So I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to keep talk about it all myself. You guys have any
talking about more death, Dave? Like,
well, hey, look, man. I mean, I'm sorry. Look, I mean, but I did want to acknowledge. You know, so I won't talk about the other 6 people that but yeah, I just did want to acknowledge Biz because you know, like I said, he's a huge part of the entertainment industry, and you know, deserves that acknowledgement. So so with that being said, I do want to talk to our guest, Mr. Frank James. Welcome, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, this is the Neighborish live cast, and we're so glad to have you here. And so I always like to start at the beginning with these. Okay. I like to talk about, you know, the origins of Frank James, or Frankie J. So let's start with your actor and a comedian. Did one come first?
Well, actually, the stand-up came first.
Okay.
It was a very long time ago. I was celebrating my birthday with my sisters, and of course I was drunk. And
he said, "Of course I was drunk."
Yeah, my birthday. Come on.
Yeah.
So way to go. You won't get up there and do a joke. So like, yes, because that vodka was telling me you're funny. So, so I went up there, man. Did this really dumb joke, and I liked it so much. I said, man, I may try this, and I've been doing it ever since. So here I am.
Okay, and that's a great segue to the next question. Do you remember the first joke that you wrote?
The first joke that oh my God. Jeez. First joke. Hell no.
No, yeah.
It was the vodka. It was
vodka wrote that joke.
It was vodka. It was the vodka. Yeah. Come on.
I know why. Yeah. But I mean, you know, so we've interviewed a couple of comedians. Like I said, we had Joe Claire. We talked to people like Ralph Cooper and Eddie Brown.
Oh, I love Ralph, man.
Yeah, really.
Back in the day, RFD.
Yeah. That was look. We like I said, after we came that first time, we fell in love. We were there almost every week. So
yes,
thank you guys.
I miss those days.
Yeah. And so I would all of those comedians I've talked to about the idea of bombing. And you know, some say it's necessary in the process. Some say that I talked to a couple of people who said, "Oh, I've never bombed," you know, things like that. And,
what? Come on, man. Yeah, we all bombed.
Right. So let's start with. Do you remember the worst time you ever bombed? Yes. I don't want to bring back no bad memories.
No. Yes, I can remember. It was like yesterday.
Right.
I'm in Manassas. Where there are no Black people, and I was at this restaurant. It must have been packed, like 150 people, right? Nice room, lovely place, and I'm the host. There are 2 other comics with me, so I've never been to the room. I walk in, all I see is white people. All I see is, so I knew I was in trouble because even the wait staff was white. I'm like, oh man, I am in trouble.
They sell themselves.
So when I got on stage, I'm not making this up. I promise you, I was the only Black person in this room. So I'm a little nervous. So I get the mic. I'm like, okay, guys, stop kidding. Where'd you guys hide all the Black people? Dead silence. It was like, what? I mean, it was like, dead. They didn't like that at all. Like, why you guys hide all the Black people? Oh man, crickets.
They really hid all the Black people. Probably.
Like, where'd you guys hide all the Black people?
You had to try the material. You had to try the material.
I had it. I'm like, what? Come on. I mean, but anyway, after that, I had to make it up with them, you know, kiss and makeup, you know, I'm a little friendly nigga, so here's some jokes. Everything went fine after that.
So I've seen people, I've seen it go both ways too. I've seen people turn crowds, like, you know, come out and they don't, you know, nail their first joke. And so, like you said, but then they're able to turn it and bring the crowd back on their side. And then I've also seen people doing really well and with one joke or one mistiming or something turns the whole crowd against them. Like, is there a secret to, you know, getting them back once you kind of, if you realize, okay, they're not really with me? Like, is there something you can do, or you just like dig into your bag of tricks and kind of just see what works?
Well, with me, anytime you tell a joke and you're doing really, really good, you tell one joke that just maybe just a little too far, you know where the line you have to be and not cross it. Because you've not crossed that line, you have to pull it all the way back. And what I would do is I start doing some jokes that I know will work.
Okay.
Jokes I know will work. Very simple, plain, but I know that will work. And once I get that laughter back, then I keep moving. But that will happen. I'm glad you brought that up because I need to say this. I know, again, I'm going to get in trouble. Because it's this one joke, I can tell you right now to the audience, if you're listening, it's not politically correct.
Okay.
And this one joke was, I got a lot of trouble with this. Guys, I have found a guaranteed method to get you sex on your first date. I call it the Frankie J 3D method. The 3 Ds are dinner, drinks, and duct tape. See? Exactly. Exactly. And people are like, what? What did you just say? See, and that just, it was really, really bad because I didn't stop.
Yeah.
I kept saying, you know what, guys? You'd be surprised to show women that big roll of duct tape, how cooperative they are, especially after you tase them the first time. See? It got me in serious trouble. So
I feel like Patrice and I are laughing and Mike is taking notes. I'm worried about what
I can add on. I'm not the only sadomasochist here, am I?
All right
there. No, I mean that's. I think to have the heart to say what's on your mind and go with it. That's where it goes, and that's what it is. What I want to know is this: when you up there and you're not funny right away, you feel like you're not funny right away, and you can feel the vibe. How do you keep going? What makes you say, you know what? Let me just finish this shit. I mean, how do you ever get into a rut where it's like, you know, fuck this shit?
Sometimes I do. I get into a rut where I am not telling jokes. I am just talking through the joke. I have put no character in it. I'm not putting any emphasis in it. I'm bringing out the real Frankie. I'm just giving the joke. It's like, I don't feel it because sometimes that does happen. Now, I'll tell you when it does. When you are at open mic, this happens a lot, the room is filled of comics. A room full of comics. 50 people, 40 are comics, 10 are just regular customers.
Is that a tough room?
Yeah, because all the comics know your material unless you bring in something new, and they're just there waiting for their turn not to laugh at your jokes.
Right.
That can be really...
So if you make them laugh, it's a good thing.
Yes, and how you do that, you throw in some new stuff out of the blue, you just bring that on in, and sometimes it really helps. But you keep doing the same material around your buddies, the other comics, and they're in the room, you're gonna get nothing.
Right.
I've sat in R&D, right? And like you said, we went several times. And we've heard the same routine 4 or 5 times. But you know what was amazing? And what I learned? Sometimes it hit, sometimes it missed. And when it hit, though, it was fucking exhilarating to be in there. To do the Huggy Lowdown. That's what
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know that dude was such a physical. That dude, that's the first time I cried in person and laughed at another motherfucker. You understand that? I mean, you guys work so hard in there to see y'all work and grind and see how one time it don't really hit that night. Then another night it's like, damn, he said the same goddamn thing last week. So
and today it's killing because always it's the audience. Always the audience. Sometimes they come to laugh. Sometimes they're just pissed. I'm just here because this asshole drugged me here. So make it laugh.
He's the asshole. Dave's the asshole who drugged me there, right?
Yeah.
Once we got there, I'm like, all right, cool. Because I was glad to be out the house. We downtown, Town. We this is it right here. I'm watching. I'm like, damn. I might get the nerve one day. I don't know if I'll be as good as Dave. And I was saying, you were talking about this line, I don't give a fuck about no line.
A lot of people do well with that, with that attitude. Some people don't make it as well, but be careful. But
careful of what? Because that's the thing. Because everybody's so insensitive now. I actually love mean slapstick comedy. I love comedy where I like Don Rickles. Oh my God. Don Rickles will sit there during an interview and just call you all kinds, and you can't help but laugh because it's funny. I mean, it's
funny.
I mean, I like Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb is. You ever see the audience in the Corey Holcomb event? The ladies in that joint, like, this their first time. They're like, "What the fuck is this?" I like shit that you have to absorb.
Right. Yeah. But he brought up a couple of comedians. So Frankie, I want to know, starting not even just comedians, who's the funniest person you know? Like the funniest, hands down person that you know?
My friend Tony Woods.
Tony Woods. Yeah.
Man, let me tell you, some days, homie had me crying. He had me crying, man. He is one brilliant comedian, but an idiot. Great comedian, but an idiot. Love my friend. Known him for 20 years.
Wow.
Outstanding comic, man.
Yeah, he's a great. So we did another show before this one called Getting Over the Hump, and we were at the National Harbor, and he actually came on, and he's one of the people who said he never bombed. I feel like, but I've talked to other people who said that he wasn't telling the truth.
So he lied.
He definitely
said
he
I say he lied.
But he's funny to me though. He's funny to me. He didn't bomb to me, but even when he bombed, he's still fucking funny to me because he look over like, oh shit. Like I've seen him when he bombed. He looked to the other comedians at the bar like, I see this shit. Like, he's rolling.
Something he'll do is kind of funny. If he bombs, he get ready to leave. He says, "Oh, he gives someone else's name as a comedian and leaves." Oh, this is Frankie J. I'll have a good time to see you. Oh, wait a minute, Holmes.
Right. Okay, so that's your favorite comedian. I mean, that's the funniest person. So if you had to give a top 5 of working comedians right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
Well, God, see, you're going to make me get into trouble by naming some names. If I leave out someone, you're like, Frank, why you name me?
Don't worry, nobody sees this anyway. No,
well, you know, although he didn't do anything lately, Eddie Murphy should crack me the fuck up, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Naturally funny.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see. I'll stop there.
Okay.
All right, how about this? How about 2 or 3 Netflix specials? Because what happens is I'm putting something on TV, and you go through all the stand-up comedians. You're like, if it doesn't appeal to your eye, like Jim Jeffries, for some reason, I clicked onto it. Jim Jeffries is fucking hilarious to me. You know, Dave likes what's his name? Jim Hannigan. What's his name?
Jim Gaffigan.
Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah,
he's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's coming to town.
I don't like something stupid. It's not funny. It's just like But I love comedy. So give us some ideas of 2 or 3 people on Netflix and or Amazon Prime. There's stand-up comedy shows that really appeal to you.
Right.
I'm gonna watch them this evening. I'm off tomorrow. Yeah. Dead ass serious.
Oh well, let me suggest this. Tiffany Haddish.
Seen it about the Black Bar Mitzvah?
Yeah.
All of it. They ain't ready.
That and her special, They Ready. Have you seen that? They're Ready. Season 2.
She's on stage, she kills it. She's like,
yes. So you gotta check that. She brings on several comics on season 2, and one of them is Tony Woods.
Tony Woods, yeah, I saw that.
Yes, indeed.
He killed.
See, exactly. Yeah. So I would definitely do that. Yeah. Let's see. That's all I've seen lately, man. I can't think of anything else after that. And I'm trying to push that, so because I want you guys to check that out if you haven't seen it.
Definitely. Oh, definitely.
Yes. And he get upset if I didn't mention that because Tony's like killing it on stage, which you'll see.
Yeah.
Where you gonna be performing at soon?
As for me, I'm glad you brought that up, see, because I haven't performed on stage in 15 months because of the pandemic.
Right.
Most of my friends, they did a lot of like Zoom comedy. Mm-hmm. Something I just couldn't do, man. I tried, I couldn't feel that. I need that audience energy. So I haven't worked too much. My next actual job is probably the end of this month. I'm gonna have to do a couple of open mics to get my timing back because I'm sure you guys know about timing. Timing is everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
We talked about that a little bit about, time.
What time is it, Dave?
It's
now. Time is always now, damn it. Now.
I messed up
time today was now. Now. It's now.
And so I want to talk a little bit now about the acting side of your career. You know, I said before we started, like you probably one of the busiest dudes in this area, you know. And I've heard a lot of people talk about, you know, when actors gripe about the issues that we have, one of the big things is, oh, you can't really do too much in this area. And I always point to people like yourself, people like Marisol Correa.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Miss Marisol. Yes.
Yeah. It's a bunch
I
of
worked there recently. On.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually met her on the Netflix on the Messiah. We talked about another thing I want to talk about with you too. Is you're a SAG actor. And
yes, I am.
About SAG, and she's also in it. And
yes,
I'm not. And I was talking about some of the benefits and things like that. So do you recommend that everybody, you know, all actors join? Is there a certain time you should? I know that you have to have what, 4 or 5 credits before you can.
Actually, you have to have what we call 3 waivers. Let me explain to you what that means.
Okay.
Anytime you're on a major production, let's say something on Netflix, like a House of Cards, which was on there. Yeah. They have a set of, let's say, about 150 people. About 40 of them, 40 has to be SAG. Mm-hmm. So if they can actually get the 40 SAG members they need, fine, they go on production. If they can't, they have to bring in non-union, non-SAG people. Mm-hmm. And those non-SAG people get to work. I'll explain. Thank you. Screen Actors Guild will get to work as a SAG member. Once they get to set and work as a SAG member, they get a waiver for that day. It's a voucher that says, I worked on this set as a union employee for this day. You need at least 3 of those SAG waiver vouchers before you're actually eligible to apply to be a SAG member. And sometimes that can take years. Let me explain that again. Sometimes that can take years to get those 3 waivers. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you might get in a couple of weeks. That's very rare, but most times, years.
Take a while. Yeah.
Yes. What's the benefit of being in SAG? What's the
again, it's Screen Actors Guild. Because you're union, that means you get paid union scale for all your work. And after 8 hours, you get overtime. And there are other, what we call bumps. If you work at night, you get extra pay for that. You work around smoke, you get extra pay for that. If you have to have several just changes, you have to get extra pay for that. The stuff like that keeps adding up. So long as you're union, you still get those bumps and that scale. If you're non-union, you don't get that.
Right.
And there's other perks too. We're always in the front of the line. All union members, there's time to like what we call eat or break for lunch. We always go first. And sometimes what we call crafty, what they serve us, is actually different from non-union.
Yeah.
Primo stuff, non-union gets crap.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but that does happen.
No, it's true. I saw it firsthand on when we did a Messiah.
Exactly.
We were in different tents.
Exactly. The SAG got different food they ate first, and you guys ate later with some other stuff, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, I got to peek into the good tent. And but I mean, it's kind of food. So
you can't tell a fat motherfucker he got to eat last.
But that's true, man. It happens. I'm serious. Yeah.
Ladies, kids, children. Then you know what's up.
but no, man, it's like I said, it's just paying your dues. You know, like you said, you have to have 3 waivers before you can be eligible to sign up. And once you do, it's basically a union for actors. And so
a union for exactly. But you have to pay. You have to pay up. There is a fee.
Dues. Yeah, you got to pay.
Yeah, there are dues, and sometimes the dues can be rather large, depending on what part of the country you're working.
Is there another way around this into getting into the field of acting?
You can always come in as a non-union person, and always
that's what I do. I'm non-union,
and a lot of people get non-union work on non-union, projects, and they actually get, dialogue. They get to speak and talk and actually have, scripts. Mm-hmm. So it does help. I have done a lot of that. Now, a lot of my work in the very beginning, when I was doing like a detective or a doctor or a lawyer, and I actually had lines and script. Most of that was non-union.
Mm. Is that fun? Mm.
I love being a detective, man. I love that.
You do.
First in the purse.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most abundant parts I've seen you play on some of these
right
detective shows and things like that.
And sometimes I'm a lawyer, and other times because I'm a black male, of course, I've been a victim. I've been shot, stabbed, set on fire, bludgeoned.
Wow.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything. Oh, man.
Exactly.
You sound like one of my cousins.
he's not an actor. He just got bad luck.
This shit is real life, Shorty. That shit is real life.
So speaking of all,
stupid boy.
Speaking of all those jobs that you've done, you know, going through your career, because you know, you've done a lot. Does anything stand out in the acting field as like a particularly let's go on both sides of it. Does anything stand out where you're like, man, I definitely nailed that. That was great. Let's start with that one. Do you have anything that was like, yeah, I definitely nailed that one?
Yes. As a matter of fact, it was something that was on TV about 3 weeks ago, and it was on Reels. Again, it was Murder in the Family.
Okay.
And I played a real live sergeant who busted these perps for Franklin's murder. Aretha Franklin's dad was shot. He was in a coma for like 5 years. Wow. I busted those people who shot him, some young punks. And I got great reviews from that, and some of my best acting, I think.
Okay.
Keep grinding, man. Keep grinding.
Yeah. So my worst acting, I was on a film for BET, and I was a butler during the Prohibition, and I was doing a scene with Bugs Malone, I think, and I was carrying this tray. I was wearing this tuxedo. I was like, it was horrible.
I wouldn't have done that well. I ain't mad at you. Fucking no. I'm gonna tell you something. I had a job, right, working in a strip club. They wanted me to wear a penguin suit, black pants, a suit, a tie, and a bow tie, right? And in my pocket, I needed a lighter, a cigar cutter, and a pen. So if somebody wanted a cigar, the wine and a wine opener. I'm not lighting no man's cigar. I'm not. The lady, she's talking about some. She gave me her panties and she's still on a little table talking about some. So she should get a guy a lap dance. I'm not holding no stripper drawers either. Shit ain't in real life. His name
nothing to do with it. He just wanted to get that story out. That's been on his heart for a while.
That's real though. I would not walk around as a butler really well. I'm like, man, fuck this butler shit. Be a whole nother show.
Yes.
So, but thank you for that, Mike. We really appreciate it. But Frankie, I do want to, because like I said, I'm working on getting to a level with my acting. So I want to ask you, what's the best advice you ever got? And we're gonna start with acting. I also want to know about comedy too. But for acting, what's the best advice you ever got?
Never give up and apply and submit for every role you think you can get.
Okay.
And get used to hearing the word no.
Right.
And if you are easily dissuaded by no, acting is not where you want to go, because you're going to hear a lot of that. Yeah. Because there are a lot of talented people in this area who are very good actors. Mm-hmm. So get used to that. But if you're thick-skinned like me, no, just keep saying, well, okay, I'm gonna keep trying. And eventually, I guarantee you, they'll say, man, this guy is persistent. He has a little bit of acting ability. Let's bring him back. And that's how I got so much work, all by the grace of God, of course. But because once they see that you're a professional and you know what the hell you're doing, they'll call you back.
Cool. And on the comedy side of it, was it, any advice that you got from anyone that stands out in your memory?
Write every day. That's it. Write every day. Dedicate at least a part of your day and just write every day. And if you are consistent, you may be able to write, let's say, 5 jokes a day. And out of that 5, 3 are trash, 2 are golden. Okay. Keep that up. Out of 5, 3 are trash, 2 are golden. And one other thing is, you are never the judge of what is funny. I know it sounds stupid coming from a comedian. What do you mean? No, you are not the judge of what is funny.
That's right.
What is the judge of what is funny? The people who you're trying to entertain.
That's right.
But I don't give a damn if you think it is hilarious to you. You get the joke and I'm like, it ain't funny. And sometimes I write joke, man, this shit ain't going away. Yes?
Where they hide all the black people?
Exactly. Hey, that's a funny joke. But to them, that shit was not funny.
It's all about timing, baby. Timing.
That out the white people.
Just saying. So that's my best.
That's real shit, though.
But exactly real. Yes.
So you said that you took a hiatus during the pandemic, and you alluded to, you said that, you know, some people were doing the Zoom and the different things like that, but you couldn't do it because you needed that. I noticed that, like you said, a lot of people. What's the guy's name that worked with Chappelle? That wrote Chappelle show with him? Neil Brennan.
Yes.
He did the what was it, like the mic thing on Netflix, where it was just him in a room with some microphones and no crowd, you know, and like you said, you need that feedback from the crowd, right?
I can't, man. I tried. Super Dave, I tried. Like, oh man, I can't feel it. I can't see people laugh, or I can't get the reaction. What am I doing? I can't do it. I'm sorry. So
I can laugh.
I'm extremely rusty, but give me a couple of weeks, you'll be seeing me.
If you recorded me by myself and I was talking to myself and you heard the things I was saying to myself and my answers and I was by myself, that might be stupid.
I don't know. Again, thanks for that, Mike. I think the weed is kicking in with Mike. I do want to talk to you, Frank, about
I'm saying, if you stand on stage and nobody's out there, you by yourself, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but if you didn't know you was being recorded and you were just having this conversation with your own self, you tell yourself some things.
Okay.
Mike, I know you're smoking, man, but you know, pass this shit. Come on.
But anyway, I wanted to talk to you about a Broken Exchange Uncoded.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, and I see that it's directed by another alumni of this area of the acting.
Sherry McCain.
Yeah, great young lady. You know,
beautiful sister, man.
Yeah, definitely talented, and
yes,
doing a bunch of stuff and moving into acting. I mean, directing, and she wrote it too, right?
Yes, and directed it. Yes, yeah. I was on set. I was one of the actors.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to ask you about like that type of thing, like working with people that you've seen come up through the ranks, basically, and seeing them get to a point where they're writing and directing and things like that. It's got to be a good feeling, right, to see the people around you.
I am so proud of them, Super Dave. Believe me, because we all started together. When I see them do things like this, I love it. And she is an outstanding actress and a damn good director. So you see her work, and a very nice and just a warm, friendly person.
Okay.
She really is. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and looking at your social media, I saw that you said you're working on something now, right? Acting role.
Yes, actually, I'm working on three.
3 things. Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. If it's something you can't talk about, I don't want to. Yeah.
Well, I can talk in general terms,
okay.
But I can't. Yeah, because I'm glad you brought that up, because we have what we call an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, and we all have to sign that once we get to set and we agree to work. So we can't tell a lot of what we do. But one of the main things I'm working on right now, which I really am kind of excited about, it is a new series. It's going to be picked up real soon. It's called The Spook Who Sat by the Door.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let me explain to you. See, it sounds interesting, right? It is about a Black young man who becomes a CIA operative. He's well trained. He leaves the CIA, and he starts training young Black men to overthrow the government. Sounds interesting?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's coming out. Just be patient, but it's coming.
That's deep. So, wow. Yeah. I've heard it because that was a book, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And now they mix. Yes. Yes, it was. Yes.
And yeah, for you to be a part of it, that's amazing, man. Congratulations on getting that.
Thank you so much.
So I know I'm bouncing around a little bit. I want to kind of go back to you realizing that you had talent, and then also when you decided to pursue acting and comedy as a career, and take it seriously. So let's start with, when did you realize, I kind of have some talent. I might be pretty funny and I might be able to do this. Was it a moment, or was it just, something that came?
Honestly, when I was in undergrad at the University of South Carolina,
okay,
and I went to South Carolina as a bulldog in Orangeburg. Woo, woo, go Bulldogs. And I was a drama major. So I did a lot of plays, and that's where I actually got my start with acting in plays on theater. But when I actually left college, don't let me bore you, but I went to law school, I became a lawyer, I worked as a lawyer for many, many years. Wow. And when I came to DC and started working for the federal government, I kept on acting while I was working. And once I actually retired, I started going full force on this, and ta-da, here I am.
Right. And your story is awesome because, you know, so many people put things off and, and pigeonhole things like an acting career to, oh, it's a young man's game, or, you know, things of that nature. You good?
Yes, my wife just walked in the room, my lovely wife, and she is asking me something. And
no problem. No problem.
No, you better ask your wife.
Right, I was about to say, wife takes precedence. Yeah.
Of course, because I have to live here with this woman.
Exactly.
Chris, what the hell are you laughing for? You know the hell I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, babe. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
My wife was asking me a cooking question.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was just saying that your story is awesome because, you know, a lot of people pigeonhole like things like the entertainment industry too. Oh, it's a young man's game and you can't get into it at a certain time, things like that. And to see people defy that, because, you know, it's always and it shouldn't even be like I was about to say it's interesting to me, but if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. It's basically what that shows. And you know, go for it. And that's dope. That you
can you see that poster behind me?
Yeah,
it's a mover poster from Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Yes, and that's Gail Gadot. She actually signed that for me. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm talking about, man. I worked on set with her during the filming of that, which is filmed mostly in Baltimore and in Virginia for about 20 days. Had a lovely time. She is a beautiful woman, very nice and charming. We had a ball, man. So
And I'm so glad that you say that freely with your wife being right there. And
yes,
I'm just
joking. She know me. She knows me, man. She's known me for 25 damn years. She'll know me by now. She won't.
That's true. That's true. And so
every time I see somebody woman, Patricia keeps laughing like she knows something.
Because you should make some married life jokes.
I have some, but
I definitely have some. Yeah.
Well, that's some.
It's good that you brought that up because our very own Mike has been married for how long is it now? You about to have
the anniversary? You've been married for 25 years, and she's still asking you about cooking and what you want for dinner and everything.
Yeah.
I had these questions already. All right. I'm gonna eat it, and no matter what you make, I'm gonna eat shit.
My wife hates that answer. I'm sorry. She says, "Honey, what do you want me to cook?" Now, no, you tell me what you want.
Something hot and quick. Hurry up.
Because if I say whatever you like, what you want? No, she doesn't like that answer. She want me to be like, say, nigga, you better say what you want to eat.
You want me to fry the pork chops or bake them?
Oh, bake, exactly. Yes. Come on, baby. You know, I love your cooking. Well, you fix
cook them.
Just cook and call them when it's ready.
That's it. That's all.
Exactly.
This is awesome.
Do you think that having a spouse, having that support system behind you helped you at all in your pursuit of your career?
Yes. Yes, absolutely, man. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. God sent me that woman. Trust me, because she has kept me, like this. Because otherwise, bro, I don't know where the hell I'd be. Trust me, I'd be a buck wild Negro somewhere running around, eating berries and twigs.
Oh my God.
But she keeps me focused, man. She keeps me focused, which is a God sent thing. Trust me, because I am a crazy man.
Oh, that's
what kind of law did you practice?
Criminal. I did, that was my thing. I dealt with very, very bad people, drug dealers, murderers, people like you, Mike.
That's my family. I'm the good one. This is my family.
No, seriously, I did. Like criminal law, but that's another life.
That's the family I come from. So I say thank you.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
We celebrate.
Let's rest.
Right, so.
And not like a free criminal defense attorney. I don't know. I actually have no record. My record, I pee in the public. That's it. That's all.
Oh,
good.
Really?
Sure. Can we get back to the interview now? Thank you.
I'm sorry.
No, I was Mike wanted to share that he peed in public. But yeah, man. So speaking of your previous career, is that why you lean toward those roles of detectives and things of that nature? Did that?
Yes, because it's kind of second nature with me. And roles about being an attorney or lawyer, I'm pretty good at that because I know the lingo and yeah, exactly. And it sounds kind of weird to say it, but all my directors say Frankie had that look. You're that look. You know what I mean? Yeah. Lawyer, doctor, had that look. So yeah.
That's a
whatever that look is.
Like a lawyer or a doctor. That's good.
Yeah, you always see me playing the detective on TV, right? Yeah, always busting the perps. Michael don't know about that shit.
I ain't want to do shit.
I was watching.
Shut up, Dave. I heard what you said. Every time.
I just try to go right into the next question. But yeah, I was watching recently during the pandemic. I started watching some shows that I had never seen. Was watching Veep.
Yes.
I catch a scene, and I said, I know that dude. I see bald head. I was like, man, that's Frankie. So
yes.
So yeah, how was that experience working on Veep?
Some of the best time I've had on the movie set because they had money.
Yeah.
I mean, they had money.
No money is serious.
Ridiculous money. Let me give you an example. On set, when we have, meals, breakfast, lunch, and however long we're there, where we eat is called crafty. That's where we go. And their crafty, they would have lobster, filet mignon, freshly squeezed orange juice. They had an omelet station in the morning made to order. Whatever you want to make, they'll make it for you.
Wow.
Tell me, they had money, baby. Trust me. Yeah.
So I kind of went backwards with that. So my first acting job, I had, because I started out in music. So they had a contest for Pizza Hut for a jingle for their 2012 Super Bowl, and that was the first thing I did. And when they won the contest, they put me out to Cali. I did the commercial, and they had that stuff. And so in that experience, I was the talent. So I had like handlers, I had the crab thing, like you said, the omelet station. I'd never even seen an omelet station. I'm just but they had, and the guy was just there. What do you want? And he's putting everything in there and all that. It's a beautiful situation. And then I came back, and from that, I performed doing music before, but I hadn't acted, and so from that, I kind of got a feel for it. I'm like, I want to do this. So I started doing the auditions and stuff, and that was the cattle calls, and it was just a whole nother world. And it's a lot different from being the talent and being and starting at the bottom. It was just an interesting transition.
Yeah. And COVID kind of changed a lot of stuff because now there's trying to do like contactless serving of food. Yeah. So they bring you like a box lunch, man, which is crap to me.
Oh wow.
Box.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the only thing
getting slowly back to real food, but during that pandemic, it was in a box, man. It was crap. But
yeah, the thing I noticed was the auditions just stopped, and then they started doing a lot of self tapes.
Yes, I'm doing that now. I had 2 today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing to talk about also is auditioning. So let's start with your worst audition you ever had, if you remember what it was, and then any tips you have for auditioning. So let's start with go ahead.
Yeah, the worst audition I ever had was when many years ago, and I was trying to do a lot of things. So I had like 3 or 4 scripts, and I was trying to memorize the scripts. So we were doing then in-person auditions. Mm-hmm. So I came to the audition, and the director says, action. I couldn't remember a fucking word, man.
Oh, wow.
I could not remember a word. And then I said, I'm sorry. Let me start over.
That's comedy, baby. That's it. What did you say?
So
What did you say?
you said, okay, Frank, try it again. He says, action. And I started giving my spiel. It was real smooth. And then at the end, he says, Frank, that's not the script we sent you.
Oh, it was the wrong one.
I was doing the script of something else. So I was doing like 3 or 4, and
man.
that was just horrible. He said, Frank, it was beautiful. The thing was, he said, oh, Frank, that was beautiful. But that ain't the script we sent
you. So, you know, as they're getting back, like you said, everything's kind of kicking back off and people are getting back into auditions and things. What advice or tips do you have for people going to these auditions, how to really, you know, nail it or at least do a good job?
Right now, most of the auditions are actually by Zoom. Mm-hmm. So there's very, 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 very few where they are actually live. Mm-hmm. The only thing I can tell you is I would suggest 3 things. They actually say what you call, when you're doing auditions, called sides, S-I-D-S, what the script is. They send you sides. Always practice with somebody. Don't rely on you trying to, no. Practice with somebody until the lines are packed and they're with you, then you're good to go. And what I would do sometimes, if the script is very long, I would actually record it myself on my phone. And then I take my headset and all day long, whatever I am doing, if I'm washing dishes, I'm in the yard, whatever I'm doing, I am listening to that until it's ingrained in my head, especially if you have like 3, 4 pages of dialogue and you have to memorize that, like within 2 days, you got to be on that. So I would suggest that helps me to have it in my head and play over and over in a loop. And just whatever I do in the day, I just keep on doing it until it's in my head. Now, that's one. The second thing is never do an audition, especially Zoom, with a background like I got. I'm at home, this is where I live, this is cool. Right. But for an audition, this is crazy. Because what is going to happen is who's ever watching you is going to be distracted by all this crap behind you.
Right.
So what you need is a blank screen. I would suggest just getting a green screen, something I have several. Just slip it over the back of your chair to block out all that's behind me. So all you're focusing on is you and the director and the script. Because all that stuff behind that, he's gonna be like, it's very distracting. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, that's great advice. Great advice. I just want to make sure. Patrice, did you pass out? Are you okay?
No, I was trying to get my phone was about to die, so it's 2%.
Oh, okay.
And I had to turn the light on.
Yeah, no, the way it just tipped over kind of abruptly. I was like, oh, it's you got to send Frankie over to investigate and see what's.
Yeah. Make sure Mike didn't do nothing.
Good morning, y'all.
I'm not the crazy. Y'all crazy.
Well, you know, everybody has a certain level of crazy. But so the craziest, like I went on an audition once, and it was at American University. It was a Black production, and I forgot the name of it, but I saw it on Backstage, and they sent me the script. And it was kind of vague, but it was, you know, they got into a little bit of the scene. So I came in, and as I'm doing the scene, the director is giving me notes. And it turns out that it was about like a Black family that was from the Deep South, and they were incestuous cannibals. And that wasn't really, and that wasn't really explained in the sides or in like the ad for it on Backstage. So as they're explaining it to me, I'm realizing I don't want to do this. This is not nothing, you know, it might have been
no, you're gonna get back to the picture, Dave. Give me the whole picture.
No,
so
but anyway.
Those were two powerful dynamics. Incest and cannibalism.
Yeah, cannibalism. And so it was interesting. So I say all that to say, has there been any situations you've been like in the middle of the like audition or something and you realize this is probably something I shouldn't be at or shouldn't, you know, be doing or you know, because
I need to get the hell out of here.
Right, and that's basically how I was feeling is what can I do to, you know, I just tell them I got an emergency and I need to.
Well, honestly, that has never happened to me. I've always been on a professional production. And I'm gonna be honest with you, whatever they ask of me as an actor, I will do it. because I'm an actor. I will do it. And I'll give you an example. It's not something. Here's an example. It was for a TV show called Copycat Killers.
Mm-hmm.
It's on ID channel, if I'm not mistaken. And I was a old man walking down the street, and I get robbed by these young punks. And I tell them I don't have any money. And I thought they were gonna let me go, so I have my hands up. I turn around. He shoots me in the back of the head. Mm. I have to fall now, face down, like that. That shit hurt. It took 15 takes for me to fall right. Now, I ain't through. 15 takes to fall right. Because then, Frank, that's not a good fall. Because, I'm trying to fall right, but I don't want to hurt myself. Because
open, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So I finally said, fuck it. I'm just going to fall. And I fell. And I'm like, bam. I fell so hard that my back of my legs flew up in the air and fell down. So, oh, that's the one.
Wow. They want that.
So I'm just telling you, whatever it takes, you do that. Because that's what we do. I played some lot of really bad, ugly, vicious people too. So, yeah, whatever it takes.
Yeah. So what part would you incestuous cannibalism?
Oh, well, that's. I was setting up the question. That's all. Don't focus.
What part was your part, Dave? What was your part?
The thing that the way I found out was the way I was reading the dialogue was talking to the female character, and they had her there, and we were reading back and forth, and the director stopped me and was like, "No, you have to understand. This is your sister." And you're upset with her because she won't sleep with you. And I was like, whoa, what now? And then they went through the stuff, and it was just bonkers. So, but and it wasn't even as much of because I don't mind doing whatever it takes, but the story was just so out there. It's like I just didn't feel comfortable being a part of a terrible story like that. But it is what it is. But yeah, no, that's great advice though. Is do what you got to do.
But I've been a zombie, man.
I would love to be a zombie though. I would love to
be a zombie
thing. Like I'm looking for a good zombie movie.
Actually, there is the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And there's a spinoff called The Walking Dead World Beyond. Mm-hmm. It's on AMC.
Right.
And I am a zombie.
Oh, really?
Zombie, yes. I played a zombie. And can I run this by you? Here's the deal.
Sure.
To be a zombie, you have to go to zombie school. I'm not making this shit up. Okay. You have to go to zombie school to be a zombie on AMC. I went to zombie school, and the first thing they teach you in zombie school is, let me back up. Day one of zombie school, there's 200 of us. Mm-hmm. Out of that 200 says, we're gonna take us 40. So the rest of y'all ain't gonna make it. So wow. 2 of us in the room. They're taking 20 at a time into a separate room. You get us 20 into a room, and the director says, who doesn't like barbecue pork? You think that's kind of a stupid question. Who doesn't like barbecue pork? About 5, 6 people raise their hand. He's okay, good, get out. He did it with every 20 groups. They bring him in. They ask that one question. Who doesn't like barbecue pork? Get out. So he wiped away about 50, 60 people just like that. Why? Because when zombies eat people, they're not eating people. They're eating barbecue pork. So if you have a scene, you have to eat a brain or a head or whatever you have to eat. They're not eating people. They're eating people. No, they're eating barbecue pork.
That was Dave's move.
You gotta bounce. So day one, they were going. Wow. Just saying.
So you ate a lot of barbecue pork.
Yeah, well, if you want to be a zombie.
Yeah. That's cool though, man. I'm definitely gonna check for that episode, man.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, like I said, I'd love to be a zombie. I know, the young lady we spoke about, Merso. I know she does.
She is a zombie on the original. Walking Dead. Yeah.
That's
Oceanside, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
She is a wonderful woman, man. I worked with her, like I said, recently on Spook.
Okay.
The Spook was set by the door. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. It's getting more and more interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Do you have any release dates for anything or any idea when stuff is coming out?
The first I heard it'll be probably November when stuff we're actually filming right now come out. So yeah, November. Well, let me put a caveat to that. You know, we're having a spike in COVID, and God knows where we'll be in November because we have crazy, Republicans who don't believe in vaccinations. So
yeah, so there's a lot going on with that.
Yeah, man. And we keep trying to persuade people to take this, offer them money, lottery tickets, free beer, pizza, donuts, and they still will not take it. So I say, good, kill them off.
Well, we have on this show we have.
Think about it, man. If you there is concrete evidence that the vaccines work. Right now, I think 95 or 96% of the people in the hospital and dying are unvaccinated people. If that one fact don't convince you to save your own neck, you should be killed off anyway because your gene pool ain't functioning correctly. Most Republicans, I'm just saying, mostly Republicans. And I say, good riddance.
Well, the Republicans have, so I would see if Patrice or Mike have any.
Well, I'm self-governed, so I don't know anything about that. but I understand your point.
Yeah, because this is crazy.
My wife just told me I couldn't tell the truth just now.
What?
Your wife said what? You couldn't tell the truth?
Yeah.
She told you be quiet then.
Yeah.
Anyway, so but yeah, man, COVID is ravaging the country. There's a lot going on. Like you said, the spikes are going up. So, but you said if all of that doesn't take a play, probably November we'll be seeing stuff.
Yes. But as for my stand-up, I'm trying my best to be on stage sometime by the end of this month or first of next month because I need to get my timing back.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have Patrice over too, so she can help me write some jokes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about writing jokes, but I want to do voiceovers at some point in my life.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so if you have some tips for that, then yeah.
What kind of voice?
What I got is some casting companies you should apply to and go from there.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to put your name out there. Only way to do that, you have to submit. And whatever they need, just do it. It's not rocket science.
Okay. Well, I'm a rocket scientist, so
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Up and away.
I'm on a rocket ship.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. See, I know. Like, I know, bro. I know, man. Smoke some of that wacky weed.
My favorite rocket ship.
My favorite rocket man. I hear you, baby.
But
man.
You alluded to the poster of Gal Gadot behind you. You got to meet her and kick it with her. Is there anybody else that you? Is there anybody who you really wanted to meet, who you've had a chance to, and anyone who you haven't, who you'd like to meet?
It's gonna sound kind of weird, but I would love to meet Tom Hanks.
Okay.
I was in a movie with him a very long time ago. I didn't get a chance to talk to him. It was what was the name of that movie? Oh my God. I can't think of the name of it.
Yeah, so many. You can't think of the name.
Yeah, no. It was it would come to me, but it was a very old movie back in 1978. No, 1981. 1981. Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump.
1991, you mean? No, that was
80. No, Forrest Gump. It was 87, I think. It was before 1990s, wasn't it? Forrest Gump before 1990s.
No, yeah, it had to be something because Forrest Gump came out in the 90s.
Yes, Forrest Gump. We were filming that, and I was in a scene with him, but I didn't never get a chance to talk to him because to me, I think he's an outstanding actor, and I would love to talk to him one-on-one. I never get a chance to do that. Okay. One person I did meet, and I was totally fascinated by. Let's see. I shouldn't say that. Never mind. I should say because never mind.
Okay.
Because you're gonna think, what the hell does he mean by that? Never mind. Sorry.
I mean, this is the platform.
That
for
sounds
it. Everybody-
juicy. That
Yeah,
sounds
if you want to
juicy.
get it out
The
there.
only one who has voices
Okay.
talking and shit.
Kevin
man.
Spacey. Kevin Spacey.
Okay.
I wanted to meet the man, and I worked on House of Cards almost every episode. I mean, almost every season, at least 2 or 3 episodes. So I spent a lot of time around the man, and he is a chain smoker. People probably don't know that. He smokes. He's like a chimney. So when we break, and he sits normally alone away, and every now and then I would walk and we just talk, and we talk about things. And he is an amazing man, an amazing actor, brilliant in my opinion. Fun, funny, great guy. At the time, I didn't know he had these issues.
Right.
So that's why I didn't want to bring it up. But he never hit on me. Just
Right.
saying. But the man is, I love the man. He's, as an actor, oh my God, yes.
He is, and it's interesting you would say that. I actually worked on the first season of House of Cards, and that must be that difference between like the union and the non-union, because that first week we were shooting, there was a scene where he walked out of this government building, and there was a homeless guy outside screaming, and he calms the guy down and all this. So inside the scene starts him coming out of the building. So inside the building was the staging area for the extras. So we were all in there, and we were sitting in there, and so the production assistant comes over before the scene starts, and she's like, okay, Mr. Spacey's coming in here. We need you guys not to look at Mr. Spacey, not to talk to Mr. Spacey, not to think about Mr. Spacey. Mr. Spacey needs a space to work. No, but he would walk in, and he was, of course, polite. He would just, chat with us and stuff. But once they started shooting, his process was he was so focused.
Yes.
And just just pinpoint on what he had to do. He would stand there and go over it for a second, take a deep breath. Then they call action. He'd go out and go and just nail it every time. Of course, it was David Fincher was directing, so he did like 30 takes, but every time he nailed it and it was on point. It was awesome to see him work. Like you said, I had no idea that he was, had that.
Me either. And I've been talking to him like I'm talking to you right now, man.
Yeah. Man, so it was an interesting experience. But yeah, so Spacey's
he's a cool brother, man. I'm just saying. He's funny as shit, man.
Yeah.
He's the practical joker. He does practical jokes on set.
Oh, okay.
I like that. Yeah.
We didn't get to, like I said, we couldn't really, they said don't talk to him or look at him.
Yeah.
Of that nature, we were the non-union extras. They kept us in a cage, and gave us raw meat. No, that was it. But yeah, man, we coming up on 8:30, man. I'm so glad that you had a chance to do this. So there are 2 questions that I always ask every guest.
Sure.
And I'm going to ask, I always enjoy the answers that I get. They're a little introspective. The first one is, if you had an opportunity to talk to a younger version of yourself, if you could get in a time machine and go back to, let's say, 21-year-old Frank James, and you're just starting out, a fresh young buck, and all the wisdom, everything you've been through, everything what would that conversation be like? What would you say to that young man?
I would say, Frank, in about 10 years, you're going to meet this woman. Her name is Teresa. You're going to marry her. Run fast. Just run.
Oh my God.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding. But what I would say is, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. Stay focused, because the small stuff is going to distract you left and right. If you do that, it's going to take you off course. Because, brother, sometimes shiny things attract me. Shiny things. And I get distracted and doing some shit I should not be doing.
Right.
Just stay focused, man. And had I done that, I'd probably been off, probably a lot better I am right now. I'm not complaining, because I have a wonderful life. Mm-hmm. But things would be a lot better had I just said, just stop going over here. Leave that shit alone. You know what I'm saying? They always say grass is greener on the other side. Do you know why? Those bitches be using fertilizer.
It's true. It's true. That's a great answer, man. I appreciate that. And the other question is, like I said, you've done a lot of jobs between acting and stand-up. You're, typically a lot of people, there's a lot of eyes on you at any given moment. When people see Frank James, Frankie J, what is it that you hope they see?
A bright statesman who is funny sometimes. That's it. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, man, being a lawyer, that politics, that stuff is in my head. It's just in me, and I can't shake it. So a lot of times I'm kidding around, but I am so serious about the issues of our country. Very, very serious. And sometimes I make jokes about that, but believe me, if we don't correct the trajectory our government is in, we're gonna be in a world of hurt. A world of hurt if we don't straighten out our issues in this country. It may come down to, civil war. I know I say that, and I'm serious. It may come down to that if we don't get our act together. Mark my words.
All right.
Oh,
go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, if I could interject, I used to work for a law firm downtown DC, and I was going to ask you how you, because lawyers are usually very serious, and I was like,
always.
Maybe he puts some of that material, uses some of that as a driving force of some of his material for comedy.
I do. Thank you for asking. Because sometimes I do try to write political jokes. Sometimes it hits home really good, and sometimes it just does not, because a lot of people are not really paying attention. I know what I hate to say it, they're not paying attention to things that are going on around them. It's kind of, you tell a joke and think that's funny. Yeah, well, no, I didn't know.
Yeah.
They explain the joke, it ain't funny. So
right.
Yeah. So definitely, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Sure.
It's great. Like I said, it's been a pleasure watching you, your career, watching you ascend. I'm, always following, what you're doing and stuff. And then, just trying to pick up little notes and see what I can steal. But, it's working, not literally steal, right? I wouldn't do that.
Well, Super Dave, man, it's been a pleasure. Mike, Patrice, I love you guys, man, and thanks for inviting me. Invite me back one day when things are back to normal.
Definitely. Yeah. And I'm gonna reach out to you about the info. We want to come check you out. Doing the stage.
Thank you, sir.
Cool.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Peace.
All right.
It's a pleasure, man. Have a good one.
You too.
And then there were two.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I like him a lot. Hardworking man. You know how hard it is to be a professional individual, dedicated, and then go out, branch off, and do something else.
Yeah, that's interesting that his story went that way. Let me do this real quick. Thank you guys for checking out another episode of Neighborish Livecast. I'm Super Dave, aka Mr. Incredible. On behalf of myself, Mike, Patrice, and I almost forgot to do it. On behalf of myself, Mike, Patrice, and our illustrious guest, Frank James, thank you so much.
Like, why do you have a full-size mattress in the back? You need a king-size bed. I'm in a king-size bed. It's a king-size bed.
Hey, look.
Oh, in my bed.
Yeah, you laying down. Yeah, I'm sitting there.
Chilling.
Huh? Chilling. That's what it is. So that's what we do. But peace, y'all. Check us out next week. We'll be back with more entertainment, more interviews, more fun. Oh, next week we got Caroline Phillips, the lady who put on the National Cannabis Festival. We're really excited about that. Check us out next week.